Let's work on. Finish that. Gonna make more CDs. tiny pen. Can I reach that? Go. Mm. Mm. Try to draw an album cover. Album covers can be like literally anything, so. I messed that up. Gonna like put a different paper over it and try again. Okay. Yay! Yeah, I think I came up with some fun designs. Yeah, think about it. I need to try to draw a tiny, tiny smiley face on this tiny, tiny CD player. Ow, ow. My hand still hurts, so I probably shouldn't be working on this, but like I want to work on this, so it's fine. Ow. Yeah, because that was, when was that? Oh, yeah. Was Prototype going to be on Sunday? Was it Saturday or Sunday that it started? Because I have something to do on Sunday the 19th. So whichever day that is, I can't do that. Project Hail Mary. Never heard of that. Okay, please don't mess this up. Oh, this does not write very well on here. Damn it. Mom. Oh, wow, that just really doesn't write on there, huh? Damn, okay, well, I can mark out the smiley. Maybe it's okay if it's a little faded. I don't want to damage this pen. Damn it. Okay, well, it's a little messed up, but that's fine. I guess this number 1 pen is just the dying. Right, Sunday and Monday, okay. Okay. Heck, that's struggling too. No. Don't think I have any pastels or anything I can put over that to fix it, but I almost got it right. You're not gonna be able to see it because this damn thing doesn't have autofocus. But it's close, just a little messed up. Just 2 little flyweight squiggly lines right there and there, and I hate them. Maybe I can, maybe if I'm very careful. Okay. Got one of the lines, and I was able to push that one back. I'll have to redo part of the line because I smudged it, but that's okay. Gently adjust it. Okay. There we go, that's good enough. Okay, I should probably put some kind of coating on that, but I'll have to let it dry for a while first. This is one of the tiny CDs I've made so far, which I'll just have to take close-up pictures later. It was a blank CD that someone mixed and put crazy mix, exclamation point. This is one that I drew a random album cover on, and then I have to put the plastic over the top. And since I confirmed that the Uhu glue dries clear, I should be able to use it on this okay, I think. Smash that down. Okay, good. Pretty clean. Yay, tiny CD. 2 tiny CDs. I was thinking of having one that's just laying on the floor. It's a miserable problem to have, man. My condolences. I was hoping this would be more opaque. I'll have to build it up a lot. I'm guessing it's a reference to something in a second. Let me save that. Pause that for later. And then that at the...
For the last time, that is not a category. Sean Connery, why don't you pick?
Well, the game is afoot. I'll take anal bum cover for $7,000.
That's an album cover, not anal bum cover.
I can read Trebek. This is anal bum cover. I spent 5 years of my life trying to invent an anal bum cover. Failing to do so is my greatest regret.
You have led a horrifying life. The category is an album cover, and the answer is...
Just trying to get the paint to dry. But also without, like, blowing this tiny, tiny piece of cardboard off the table. Dry. I guess while waiting for that to dry between coats, I can find a place to put these on the inside here, and I can also start working on the supports. Okay. That looks pretty good. Sort of put that in there. It's a little pop of yellow over here, which is nice. The headset doesn't look too big now. Maybe I have to like squish it a bit more. Okay. Because of how that's like floating around, I'm probably gonna have to glue that down or just glue these first and then press those into place. I'll suppose that like over here. Oh, I kind of like that better. Okay. Make sure. Okay, I could even have it closer this way. As long as it's not directly in the way of the door, it'll be fine. These. Ooh. Gotta figure out where to put the headset. Don't like over there. Okay. God damn it. I forgot for a second that it was tethered down. I have to be really careful about where I pull it. Okay. Gently smash that down into the carpet. Then, okay. Get this side. Top of this. Okay, I'm gonna have to hold this and smoosh it gently over here. Okay, I'm just gonna have to like hold that for a minute. Some more place. Yeah. Carefully put the cap back on the glue. Go. I'm just gonna be stuck holding this for a bit. Trying to like figure out how to pose the rest of it. Okay. Thankfully this type of glue holds on pretty quick. Is that holding on? Okay. Put a little bit more glue under there because I think some of it came off. The fuck? Try not to fling the glue everywhere. Fuck. Okay. Go trying to glue like the tiny pieces of string. Okay, it's holding on pretty good. Okay, where am I gonna put the CDs? I kind of want to stack them. I feel like, you could just stack them. Okay, so if they're in just like a messy stack, then I'm not necessarily going to see the art on this one, which I didn't draw that good anyway, so that's fine. It's going to take a close-up of these first, then cram them in there. Oh damn, I think I forgot to take a close-up of the CD player, whoops. Damn it. Okay. Stack it like that. Okay, let that dry. Hydration check. Okay, put my pencils away for now. Or wait, wasn't I gonna make another? Yeah, I was thinking of doing 1 or 2 more posters. Cut out a piece. Dang it. Being stubborn and trying to just eyeball it straight lines, but that's hard to do. Celebrity Jeopardy? I don't really watch SNL, so I don't know what that is, but I'm guessing they're doing, well, celebrities playing Jeopardy. I also don't know a lot of celebrities, so I'll put it on in the background if you want, but... Okay, it's only 8 minutes. Can't guarantee I will get or appreciate any of it. Probably Sean Connery over there. That's pretty much the only... Please enjoy your actually okay Chuck E. Cheese pizza, because I never could. Must live vicariously for you. wouldn't that be, like, illegal? Like, I think it's okay for the employees to take them home, I think, but, like, I think serving them to customers would be, like, illegal. Mm. Okay. I'm gonna, like, I think this is a bit big, but I was like, I could probably, oh yeah, it is pretty big. I do like how it turned out. I think I'm gonna, like, fold this to make it look like it was, I don't know, included in a box full of Starry Pop soda or something. Video watching mode, let me try to find something interesting off one of my things that I already want to watch. I do always appreciate the contributions. Oh, so I should probably go to my one with shorter videos. To my playlist with shorter videos. Okay, fold this heavily to make it look like it was packed in a container. Jessica, my man, do you remember when, like, freebies and, like, giveaways and stuff like that for kids were actually, like, kind of cool? Be like, there's gonna be a free so-and-so in the box of whatever, and if it was, like, something really fancy, you had to, like, send in for it. You send box tops or whatever. But occasionally there would just be like, yeah, you'll get a free little stupid doodad in your box of cereal or whatever the heck. And, like, the fast food toys were actually, like, really nice quality compared to how they are today. Like, I still have some of my old, like, McDonald's Beanie Babies, back when I used to go to McDonald's because my taste buds hadn't developed yet. And, like, they're really freaking nice. The ones today are just, like, cheap pillow plushies with, yeah, the proof of purchase thing. Just cheap pillow plushies with, like, stuff printed onto them. And I like to collect little toys and trinkets and whatnot, so, like, I don't go to fast food too much, but, like, I do really like little toys and trinkets, so occasionally if a place has something nice, I'll go to it. There's been a few places lately that had some pretty nice stuff. Okay, I want this to very clearly look like it was unfolded and put on the wall. Maybe Starry Pop is these kids' favorite soda. Snacks, I hope it's okay that I'm using your idea. If for some reason you don't want me to put the Starry Pop alien on a little thing that I'm just gonna kind of, like, give away to a charity thing, then I will totally just take it out of there. I will not be selling it for profit. Oh man, I can't specifically remember that one. Yeah, I was making posters, and I was previously watching a video about art fight, and then I was thinking about posters, and then you said something in chat, and my brain put together posters, snakes, art fight, and I was like, oh yeah, that really cute little Starry Paw poster from that one year. I think it was like 2024 or something, geez. Do y'all ever watch Ordinary Sausage? Okay, hold on. My browser is dying, but, okay, there we go. Y'all ever watch Ordinary Sausage? This guy's great. Yeah, there's like a different regulations and more regulations in the EU. There's like a lot of things that I eat that they have the California warning on them, where like if California, thank you California, didn't have like any regulations, this guy makes sausages out of weird things. This one he's doing century egg. He's really fun videos on him. But like yeah, there's a lot of things I get from like the Asian import markets that say like in California, like the California Prop 65 or whatever says that this item has things that may cause cancer or birth defects on them. And I'm like, wow, okay, that's fucked up. I don't know if it's in the packaging or food. Okay, I got my reference. Okay, green and pink. Okay.
Unlike those balut eggs, there's no little baby.
I'll just have to take a close look later.
Horror show that was. So, despite the name, they have not been preserved for 100 years. They're duck eggs that have been sitting in like wood ash and clay and God knows what else. And I can smell them already. They smell.
I like century eggs.
I guess I would have to say they smell like the farm.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff from Asian import stores, and I guess the countries they're getting them from don't have as many regulations as the US, so they've put a label on it. Yeah, they turn black. I like how they taste, though.
God, that is a smell you will not soon forget. My man cracks one of these open and says, yeah, now it's ready to be one more. Like opening up presents on Christmas and everything you open is cold. Oh my God, are you serious? Are you serious? They're ready to eat, so here I'm gonna do it. Here we go.
Kind of strong.
It tastes like a rubber egg. The smell on the other hand is outrageous.
You're supposed to eat them in like rice porridge because they're kind of strong.
That's a lot of duck egg. From duck eggs to duck poop. Good Lord. Alright, we're gonna help this sausage out with a little bit of salt, a gentleman's amount of pepper, and an ungentleman's amount of garlic powder. And the sausage plays the fool. There's no exception to the rule. Wow. Yesterday, Mrs. Sausage told me I looked like an ogre. That's the century egg water. In 3, 2, 1. Let sausage. It bears a striking resemblance to the sushi sausage. This is all the century egg.
It does look a lot like the sushi sausage.
Special thanks to today's Mark Boxello box artist. This guy! This is a good one. I can tell you spent a lot of time on it. This Will It Blow is brought to you by Incogni. Increased random junk calls, text messages for fake package delivery attempts, and never-ending spam emails that have rendered your inbox basically useless. That's why I was so happy I discovered Incogni. Did you sign up for a free cupcake on your birthday at your favorite restaurant? Maybe you scanned a QR code.
Why would you think duck dicks? They don't even look like that. They look horrifying. I only know that because I'm interested in biology and science and animals and stuff like that, and you learn some things.
The bad news is, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. Incogni does the messy work for you automatically. Incogni reaches out to data brokers on your behalf, requesting your personal data removal, and it's so easy to use. Just create your Incogni account and say whose personal data they'll be requested to remove. Then grant Incogni the right to work for you. And after completing those first 2 steps, sit back and relax while Incogni keeps you updated with their progress. Protect your data and privacy starting today. Just go to incogni.com/sausage and use code
Oh, I think I did see the Zay Frank one, yeah.
60% off. That's incogni.com/sausage and use code sausage or click the link below to take your personal data off the market. So will it blow? Gotcha. I was a little worried in the beginning, but I'm glad that we got a sausage that really stuck. Part 2. So not a lot of spreadage, but hey, it was a funny one. So I'm gonna have to give that Will It Blow 3 Mark Ruffalos. Here we go.
I'm mixing some dirt.
Get me a pot fire. Oh my god, we got a burst. The power of eggs. Oh my god. There's no missing it. You better believe this sausage is done. I can't believe I flubbed the first sausage of the new year. Let's open it up, see how we did. My god. We'll have to save the part that looks like the clickers from The Last of Us. Okay, here we go. Something is off about this sausage. I don't know what the flavor is. I can't describe why I'm so repulsed by it. It tastes like old egg yolks, and I guess that's true. That's exactly what is in it.
Yeah.
The texture is gross. It looks fishy. Oh, what a fumble at the start of the game. The closest description I can give it is expired sausage. The stuffing inside of my couch would taste better than the century egg does. So I'm gonna have to give this sausage here a 0 out of 5.
Bop, 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 bop.
I don't entirely know why there's a whale, but okay. How are the ones who don't? Dang it. No! Oh, Jesus Christ, what? If you link me both of those, I will save them to, I'll save them to watching.
I guess. Yes, Long
I am interested in food differences, but I'm also interested in dunking on Disney and Pixar.
There's not a drop of iced tea in it. And we're going to be making ours in this protein drink blender bottle. And really, what better way is there to sell all of your unsold booze? Half an ounce of vodka, half an ounce of rum, half ounce of gin, and yet another half ounce of tequila. God, this is a ton of alcohol. 3 seconds? 1 ounce.
So that's why it was on fire in the thumbnail.
And an ounce of Coca-Cola. I'm going to toss in just a lemon slice.
Do that yellow, just make it different.
All right, let's dance. Shove. I mean, I guess it doesn't hurt to add the booze at this point. Throw the lemon wedge in there, too. Oh, shoot. That was the metal ball that goes to the protein drink thing. That's too much. I gotta get the metal ball out of there. We're gonna have to drain off some of the booze. Oh, God, no. Oh, my God. Oh, it's okay. The ball's
That
only
ladder
slightly
charm.
damaged.
Okay.
That's too much even for me. Have you guys ever been to Phoenix? We're gonna make it taste better with a little bit of salt and pepper.
Save
and
that one
garlic.
there.
Ooh, my little pretty one, my sausage.
Guess I can pull this one up on my browser and then save it to one of my lists to see at some point.
Oh, God. Okay. That's the fresh pressed pork iced tea water. And 3, 2, 1. Let's sausage. It's making some noises. A little over.
Oh, I think I actually have this on one of my playlists. Right.
More sausage out of that. You're just a little guy. Oh, I see you, Lemon Peel. With special thanks to today's Mark Boxalo box artist, this guy! This one's actually making its rounds across the internet. I've seen it show up in several places. This Will It Blow is brought to you by Helix Sleep. Are you a lazy laserson? Don't look away from me when I'm talking to you, especially when all I'm trying to do is get you a great night's sleep on a Helix mattress. Why do this to yourself? It's a win-win situation. First of all, the mattress is designed specifically for your sleep needs, because in order to be matched with one, you gotta take the Helix Sleep Quiz, answer a few questions on how you like to sleep, and boom, you're matched in seconds. That's how me and the Helix Dusk Lux mattress were matched, and it's been 5 years of sleepy bliss ever since. Secondly, Helix sends the mattress right to your door with free shipping in the US. That's right. So far, the amount of time you've spent getting this mattress can be measured in seconds. And lastly, they give you a 120-night sleep trial to make sure you absolutely love it. But even after your 120 nights are up, you still got nothing to lose, because every Helix mattress is backed by a lifetime warranty. Thank you, Helix Sleep, for sponsoring. Visit helixsleep.com/ordinary sausage to take advantage of their March Madness sale and get 20% off site-wide. So will it blow? What? You can't hit Mark Ruffalo more than we just did. Well, it's solid without a lot of spreadage. So I'm gonna have to give that Will It Blow 3 Mark Ruffalos. Okay, here we go. Nope. Okay, here we go. You're right. I thought this was going to explode in a big fireball, too. There it is. That's what we've been waiting for this whole time. Well, all right. Let's open it up and see how we did. Oh, right in the lemon peel. It looks like some sort of fish monster. Okay, here we go. Now we're gonna try a part that doesn't have lemon peel in it. The lemon peel's a no-go in the sausage. All right, here we go again. It's amazing. It's got a flavor profile that you wouldn't believe. It's tangy. There's a certain richness to the sausage that makes it taste, I guess almost French. I think we finally made a good alcohol sausage. The key was to just make it a dumpster of different flavors and Coca-Cola. I mean, it doesn't look very impressive. It looks kind of plain, but I'm telling you, it's super flavorful. It's like one of the most interesting sausages that I think we've made. It's delicious. It's incredible. I love it. So I'm gonna have to give this sausage here a 5 out of 5.
That's pretty good.
Bop, 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 bop.
Food on it.
McDonald's operates in 118 countries. In the UK, their burger bun has about a dozen ingredients. But in the US, the same bun has over 25. And up until 2016, one of those ingredients was a dough conditioner that's also used to manufacture yoga mats and shoes. And the CEO of McDonald's just went viral recently, eating one of these burgers on camera, calling it the product the entire time. Not the
Product.
burger, not the food, the product. And honestly, that might be the most accurate description of American food right now. Because there
Yeah.
are over 3,000 additives approved in the US that are restricted or banned in other developed countries. And every single one of them got there through a regulatory loophole that was created in 1958 and hasn't been meaningfully updated since. So the question isn't whether
Yeah, that
these
makes sense.
companies can make food without these chemicals. They make cleaner versions of the same products for every other country they sell in. The question is why they choose not to do it here.
Why? Because it's cheaper.
To understand how this works, let's forget about the history for a second and just follow a product. Let's say a food company develops a brand new chemical, never been tested, never been reviewed, and they want it in a box of cereal by next month. Let's call it Compound X. Here's what happens. The company would hire a panel of scientists, to review the safety data on Compound X. Many of these scientists have financial ties to the company paying them. And every single time they reach the same conclusion. Compound X is generally recognized as safe, or GRAS. That GRAS label is so important because it's basically a golden ticket. Any ingredient that gets classified as GRAS is completely exempt from the FDA's normal approval process. No safety review, no testing requirements, no waiting period. It skips the entire line.
What we have seen over time is that companies are creating new ingredients, having their own scientists or hiring outside scientists to make their own determinations that an ingredient is safe. And then once they self-declare that their ingredient is safe, they don't have to go through that pre-market process.
The FDA created this designation in 1958, and it was originally meant to cover things like salt, vinegar, and baking soda, stuff nobody needed to test because humans had been eating it for centuries. But by the 1990s, the FDA
Damn,
had
it's
a
not showing
problem.
up on there.
You see, as food became more and more industrialized, hundreds of companies were submitting applications to try to get that golden ticket for the new ingredients they were using. And the agency didn't have the budget or the staff to review them all. The backlog was so long that it would take years.
The Republicans are
So
okay
in
with any
1997,
chemicals that
under
make the rich
pressure
people
from the
like
Clinton's
$2 more
administration's
rich.
push to cut costs and speed up federal agencies, the FDA made a decision.
You could save
that
a billionaire
changed
like
everything.
50 cents and they'll be like, oh, we need it. It's good for you, actually.
Bettina Gregory has the story.
Instead of requiring companies to submit their safety data for review, they
Shouldn't
made the
shake
whole
that so much.
process
Gotta
voluntary.
be extra careful.
That means the company doesn't have to submit its determination to the FDA. It doesn't have to share the safety data. It doesn't even have to tell the FDA that Compound X exists. It can just start putting it in food and shipping it to stores. Think about that for a second. That's like a student grading their own exam and the teacher saying, you don't even have to show me the test. I'll just take your word for it. And this isn't a hypothetical edge case. According to a 2022 analysis, companies have used this system to self-approve nearly 99% of new food chemicals since the year 2000. The Pew Research Center estimated in 2013 that roughly 1,000 ingredients had entered the food supply through this pathway without the FDA even knowing about them. The FDA's own former deputy commissioner for food admitted in 2014 that we simply do not have the information to vouch for the safety of many of these chemicals. So the system that was designed in 1958 to exempt salt and vinegar from paperwork is now the primary pathway that the entire food industry uses to put new chemicals into your food without any oversight. And this is where you start to see why the same food tastes different depending on which country you buy it in.
Yeah, like how Mexican Coke is so much better. I try to avoid buying Coca-Cola, though.
For example, for decades, the US version got its color from something called Yellow 5 and Yellow 6. They are synthetic dyes derived from petroleum. But the UK version used something way healthier. They use paprika extract and beta-carotene, which is an orange pigment.
Paprika,
naturally found in
turmeric.
humans. Not because Kraft can't make it without the artificial dyes in the UK. It's because in Europe, Yellow 5 and Yellow 6 dyes requires a mandatory warning label that reads, may have an adverse effect on activity and attention in children. Rather than putting a warning on the box, Kraft just formulated for the European market. But in the US, no warning is required, so the artificial version stays on the shelf. Another good example is the popular drink Mountain Dew. It contains brominated vegetable oil in America, a pretty bad oil for your heart, but not in Europe or Japan because they're banned in those countries. Bread products across dozens of American brands contain potassium bromate, a dose strengthener banned in Canada, the UK, the EU, China, and Brazil because research linked it to kidney damage and cancer in animal studies. California banned it in 2023, but at the federal level, it's still approved, which means a chemical that most of the developed world considers unsafe is sitting in the bread aisle of grocery stores in 46 out of 50 American states. None of these companies are being forced to use these ingredients. They're making a financial calculation that using cheaper inputs in the American market is worth it. because the regulatory system doesn't penalize them for doing so. The US operates on an innocent until proven guilty standard, where an ingredient is assumed safe until enough evidence accumulates over years or decades to prove it's harmful. Europe uses the precautionary principle, which flips the logic. If there is uncertainty, a new ingredient doesn't get approved until
Yeah, I
the
wish we had
manufacturer
that.
can scientifically prove it's safe. And America hasn't switched to the European model for one straightforward reason. Both sides benefit from keeping it the way it is. For the FDA, reviewing every new additives would take years per ingredient and require a budget that they don't have. For the food companies, it's even simpler.
The richest country in the world, and we don't have the budget.
And wait 2 years for FDA approval when you can pay a fraction of that to certify food safety yourself. Back in 2010, when one company was questioned by the FDA about the safety of an ingredient called theobromine, they
Everybody
simply
say thank you,
withdrew their
California.
voluntary notification, hired an independent contractor to declare it safe anyway, and kept using it. The FDA had no mechanism to stop them. The agency can't afford to enforce stricter rules, and the industry has no financial reason to follow them. That's how a loophole stays open for almost 7 decades. The GRAS loophole is basically a multi-billion-dollar subsidy for whoever can exploit it most creatively. And the companies exploiting it the best are the ones you've never heard of. Go to your kitchen right now and pick up the first packaged food you see. Could be a bag of Doritos, a can of Coca-Cola, a cup of yogurt, or a box of Cheerio. Flip it over and look at the ingredient list. Somewhere on there, you are almost guaranteed to see 2 words: natural flavors. That phrase is doing a lot of work, because in most cases, the formulation behind those 2 words wasn't created by the brand on the front of the box. There are 3 major firms that engineer the flavors in almost everything Americans eat. The food brands hire them, the way a restaurant hires a chef, except these chefs serve 300 million people and nobody knows their name. The biggest is a Swiss company called Givaudan. The second is an American company called IFF, which stands for International Flavors and Fragrances. And the third is another Swiss firm called Firmenich. Together, they control over 55% of a market worth over $40 billion a year. Givaudan alone holds roughly a quarter of the global market and offers over 2,200 different strawberry
That
flavors
is like crazy
in each
processed.
category. Not 22, not 220, over 2,200 variations
Gotta
of a
do
single
one more.
food flavor. Each one optimized for a different product and a different consumer base. IFF purchases roughly 8,500 raw materials from
Take a break to
2,300
put these items in
suppliers
here.
worldwide, blending them into proprietary compounds that get licensed to the brands you see
I
on the
think the
shelf.
lighter one will look
And
good over
every single one
here.
of those formulations is legally classified
One
as
over
a trade
here.
secret. So when you read natural
There's already a
flavors
space
on the
one over there.
label,
Maybe
you're
put it
looking
up
at a
here.
formula that could contain dozens of individual chemical compounds, solvents, and preservatives, none of which have been disclosed because trade secret law overrides ingredient transparency laws in the US. And here's why the secrecy matters so much to them. These formulations aren't just about making food taste good, they're engineered to make you eat more. Food scientists call it the bliss point, the precise combination of sugar, salt, and fat that triggers the strongest
Here.
craving response without ever making you feel fully satisfied. It's why you can eat an entire bag of chips without feeling full, the same way you would after a home-cooked meal. Your body isn't registering
though.
food the same way because the formulation was specifically designed to bypass your satiety signal, the part of your brain that's supposed to tell you, okay, you're full,
in
stop
here.
eating. And the bliss point isn't a general target. It's calculated down to the milligram for each individual product. Researchers have found that there is a specific concentration of sugar where the craving response peaks. And if you go even
Yeah, I hate it
slightly
when
above that
something says
concentration,
just
the product
natural
starts to
flavors
taste
or
too sweet.
spices.
And people
Which
would eat less
spices?
of it.
What if
So the
someone's
flavor
allergic to
companies
one of
aren't
them?
just making food taste good, they're finding the exact mathematical ceiling of how much pleasure your brain can process before it tells you to stop. And then they're parking the formula right below that line.
Damn it.
That's why
No,
you reach the
come
bottom
on.
of the bag and think, I didn't even realize I was still eating. That was the design working as intended. And the reason these companies guard these calculations so aggressively
Damn
is
it.
because getting the bliss point right
Put a real
on a
big
single
blob on there.
product can be worth hundreds of millions of dollars in
Maybe I should
annual
use hot
sales.
glue.
Ultra-processed foods built
No.
on these formulations now make up nearly 60% of the average American adult's diet. and the number has been climbing up for
Put more
decades.
dust on
And
these.
studies are now linking high ultra-processed food consumption
I didn't put any
to
dust on
increased
those yet,
rates
but that's
of
because I wanted to see where
obesity,
they
type 2
were.
diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and cognitive decline.
I can reach in
But
there
the
and put some
FDA
dust
has
paint
no
on there a little
regulatory
bit.
category for ultra-processed. This means the fastest growing segment of the American diet exists in a complete regulatory blind spot. But the good news is that the FDA was directed in 2025 to explore closing the GRAS self-affirmation loophole. But the rulemaking usually takes years, and the food industry will lobby against any changes that increase their costs. And thousands of FDA scientists were fired in April 2025 due to cost-cutting measures. It means the agency now has even fewer resources to enforce the rules it already has. If you want to protect yourself today, here's something you can do the next time you're at the grocery store.
That's the reason
Before
why
you put something
Republicans
in
are
the
fucking
cart,
stupid.
flip it
There's a
over
whole
and
Make
count
America
the
Healthy
ingredients.
Again
If the
thing,
list
but
is more
they're
than 5
voting
ingredients
against
you
their
can't
little
pronounce
interests.
or wouldn't find in a home kitchen, just put it back. If natural flavors appear in the first 5 ingredients, the
Should
product
be
is more
like slightly
engineered than you
torn.
think. And if you really want to know whether
Perfect.
what you're buying is safe, check if the same product exists in the European version. If the European label is shorter, you know that the American version contains things that at least one developed countries decided weren't worth the risk. I'm curious to know what you think about ultra-processed food, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive on food, here's another video where I dive even deeper on a different topic. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.
Mm. Right, those two in there, and now I can, small enough, right? Yeah, okay. I can put something else on this last poster. I don't know what that'll be yet, though. Oh, right, I was gonna not just paint this blue, but try to put some tiny label on it for, like, a band or something. Can I, like, that's too big. That out, okay, then, this work, or, that's kind of working. I'm gonna try to just put, like, a little white circle around the inside so it looks more like a CD. Careful, because it's leaking. Go. Yeah. And I can put some fake band name on it. You do seem to love burritos in general. Mm. Um, it's gonna be called Checkmate. Why? Because I couldn't think of anything else. I was gonna do that thing where it has the tracks listed on the CD. Which isn't something I see very often anymore. this should be okay on flashy things. I took one of my sumatriptans earlier when I thought I might be getting a migraine, and it hasn't happened, so doing pretty alright. And earlier today I was playing some Prosecco songs that had pretty flashy music videos, and I was okay. I'm gonna get a good grade in not getting a migraine, something that is both normal to one and possible to achieve. Okay, where's theirs? There is. Okay. Yippee! That load up. Right, well, I'll try to think of something to put on the last poster. I'll try to figure out how to attach the supports. Not more shaven. Getting like a weird angle, so I wonder if I could just like saw part of that off. And then straighten it out. That, I think. Okay, it's almost there. Maybe be close enough. Fit that one notch right there. Cut this a little bit more. Is that not plugged in? Wow, there's like little bits of paper all over the floor down here. I'll sweep in here later. What's that other? There it is. Pasto. Okay, we got 30 more minutes, so.
Hey everybody, it's Lavender Town. Disney Pixar holds the record for the studio with the most Oscar wins. They used to be almost the default winner in the animation category, but something is shifting. With this year's Oscar season, Disney officially has hit its coldest streak in its history. It has been defeated in the animation category for the last 4 years.
They're not fucking trying anymore.
And yeah, obviously the Oscars are kind of a joke. Like, Joseph Fares really said it when he said,
Okay, can you swear here? Can you swear? Okay.
Freak.
The Oscars, you know?
Freak.
The Oscars!
During the Game Awards, but it is a really noticeable shift. I think a lot of people have just generally been feeling that Disney and Pixar have been stagnating. Elio did so poorly in the box office that Pixar infamously posted a video on
I don't fucking
Instagram
hear about
where
Elio.
they basically said that people can't keep asking for original stories and complaining about sequels if they aren't going to go
This
show
way.
up for them, which is a pretty bizarre and bitter way to promote your film. I want to talk from an artist's perspective about what I think is happening to Disney and especially Pixar, studying some of their
I
leadership
don't even see
statements,
advertisements
as
for
well as
this
both
crap
of
because
their
of all this
defeated films
fucking
from last
targeted
year,
advertisement
and
stuff. I
explain
even
why
have that turned
personally
off.
think this may actually be a really good thing
But I'm not
for
seeing
the
like
animation
any
community
movie
in the long
advertisements
run.
ever.
So the first thing a lot of people point to is that visually, Pixar and Disney are starting to look more and more similar.
Wait,
The two
is it this
studios
way?
used to be very distinct from each other, but over time they've kind of melded together visually.
Yeah.
Pixar also used to customize their design and animation style to the story more, and it definitely feels like with movies like Elio, Luca, and Coco, they're kind of in a character rut where all of these young boys look and behave pretty similarly. When you look at some of their competition, it's really clear that the medium is getting pushed in a fresher looking, more unique direction, and that audiences are really liking that. There's also the concern that because Pixar and Disney's 3D style has been so heavily used in AI training, that their movies are starting to look
yeah.
quote-unquote AI generated. This isn't really fair to the studios, as it was their style first, but it's another reason that moving away from this super squishy, overused style might be a good move.
I don't like the
as their
super
style is starting to be
soft
heavily used by and
style. It's
associated with
creepy.
random food trucks, offensive internet edits, and
Luca
for
was
comedy
alright. I
t-shirts on the
hated how
boardwalks
the
of Las
characters
Vegas
looked.
and Atlantic
Oh my god,
City.
the shading was
And I
way
feel
too
like when
realistic.
talking about
And they were so
Pixar and Disney
rubbery.
stagnating, most of the talk
I hated
on
looking
YouTube
at
has
it.
been about
Pretty
the
cool
visual
story though.
style,
Cat Dad is
but
my
in
favorite.
my opinion, it's not the style but the substance of their movies that is really holding them back. One of the biggest changes in Pixar and Disney's work lately is the lowering of the stakes. When I first started having this feeling, I thought that I was just perceiving their stories differently because, yeah, obviously things felt more serious and scary when I was a little kid. I thought maybe the stakes aren't hitting as hard because I'm an adult now. But when I actually think back to the stories I grew up with, I definitely think that they used to be more intense. Finding Nemo, for example, opens with the massacre of Marlin's wife and nearly all of his children, and his only remaining child is permanently disabled in the attack. Later, the primary characters, including the child, face death multiple times. In The Incredibles, Mrs. Incredible and the children are almost blown up, and Mr. Incredible is tortured on screen. They also face really realistic threats to their well-being, like the primary breadwinner of the family losing his job, and the breakdown of the family due to financial stress.
This is wood on wood. I can just use wood glue.
Stakes. Physical
Come on.
stakes when their lives are at risk,
Come on.
emotional stakes when their relationships are
Really?
at risk, and philosophical stakes, the battle that they're all facing about whether to compromise their own sense of right and wrong
Glue
in a world
everywhere.
that seems to reward selfish behavior. The belief underlying this movie is that even
damn
though
it.
evil behavior is legal and can make you rich and powerful, and it seems that trying to help people only gets you in trouble, it is still important to do the right thing. That in the end, altruistic and heroic behavior is right even in a corrupted world. That's what makes The Incredibles feel like a substantial and meaningful movie, and not just a superhero family getting in and out of danger.
Yeah, The Incredibles is really
Philosophical
good.
stakes are really important in that way. I think that Pixar has been deliberately sabotaging the philosophical stakes, the underlying beliefs of their movies in the last 4 years. In my opinion, one of the biggest problems for both Disney and Pixar is that over time, they've become increasingly more and more afraid of actually having anything to say.
Yeah.
Looking back at some of their more iconic work, there are definitely scenes that feel pretty political, or even just intensely emotional in a way that I don't think is happening as much in their later films. Again, to talk about The Incredibles, one of the earliest scenes involves Mr. Incredible hospitalizing his sleazy boss for putting the profits of the insurance company over the well-being of an innocent person. Can you actually imagine Pixar or Disney having one of their primary protagonists introduced in this way nowadays? Even comparing the original Zootopia to Zootopia 2, the mistakes our heroes make and how they play out is just so dramatically different. In the original, the main character of Judy accidentally starts a hate campaign against the minority population of predators in Zootopia due to her own ignorance. She genuinely lets her own biases nearly destroy her closest friendship. And the movie is very aggressive in showing how people use populism and societal bigotry to attain political power. It's not until she genuinely apologizes and works to right her wrongs that she is able to move forward as a character. And reminder, Zootopia did extremely well, financially and critically. Keep a pin in that fact for later in the video. In Zootopia
I honestly
2, they try to
can't
invoke
really
those
remember
same
the story
strong
of Luca
societal
all too well.
messages, but
And I
the
can't remember a lot of
characters
things,
of Nick,
but
as well as the central message, are just not nearly as strong. The
I
character
remember a
is
lot of the
mainly
themes
victimized in
besides,
the
like, you
sequel
know,
is
wanting to be
barely a
part of your
character,
world.
and Nick and Judy have a very weird arc. Their main conflict seems to be that they think that they're great partners, but sometimes Judy is too dogged in her pursuit and pretty selfish, and Nick wants to play it safe and prioritize their well-being over solving the case, and then they kind of therapy speak at each other towards the end.
Never saw
I
Zootopia
personally
2.
felt like it was really unsatisfying. Having one corrupt family represent all the evils of society, after doing quite a good job in the first one of showing how, with complex things like bigotry, it doesn't just live in the hearts of evil maniacs, but can even pop up in our loved ones or ourselves. I feel
Oh, it seems
it's
like
a
an
huge
interesting theme to
downgrade.
use, yeah.
In a lot of Pixar's older films, the mistakes that the protagonists make are usually one of the biggest forces that actually cause conflict in the film. Oftentimes, in their earlier films, they don't even really have villains per se. Like, looking at
Cut
some
that
of
up
their
shorter.
older villains, they really look more like threats that don't necessarily have a lot of malice. Sid from Toy Story, Darla from Finding Nemo. I saw someone in my comments
Yeah,
once
they're not really
saying that the
villains, huh?
critic from Ratatouille is the villain of Ratatouille, and I feel like that's just completely wrong. He's an obstacle, but what is he actually doing that's wrong? He's a food critic. That's literally his job, and he's clearly
I
very
wouldn't even
passionate
consider him
about
the
it, which you see by
villain.
the end of the film.
Like, if they
The
were gonna
real
have a villain,
is
it would be
Luigi
the short
for
chef.
trying to take credit for Remy's work, and just generally being kind of a slime ball and betraying his friend. It feels more and more like Disney and Pixar are afraid of letting their main characters actually do anything meaningfully wrong or have any kind of actual arc.
Oh, that's
Because
interesting.
if the
I should check out
character is
Zootopia
already
too.
morally pure at the very start, and the only thing that causes conflicts is either misunderstandings or the machinations of like an extremely evil person, there isn't anywhere for this character to grow to. A lot of the time they sort of simulate the feeling that the character has grown and changed just by like having like a moment at the end and like having sort of the music kind of make you feel like something has happened. But a lot of the times the characters actually haven't meaningfully changed in any way, and so it makes it feel really unsatisfying. Another change a lot of people are noticing is that Pixar in particular used to mainly tell pretty high concept stories, ones that are really best told through animation. Toy Story expertly utilizing the plasticky look of early 3D animation to tell a
That
story
one
that
can
would
stay
be
flat,
almost
and this
impossible in
edge
any
has to
other
have
medium.
a
Monsters Inc. puts us
slant
in a
to it.
bustling city full of monsters whose world runs off of child screams with floating door portals. Ratatouille is about a rat who puppets a human man to make his culinary dreams come true in the fantastical imaginary city of Paris. The point is, all these stories were really
This
flashy
doodle in the
and unique,
background's
but
really
felt
funny.
fresh every time. They were stories that you were instantly curious about, like, where would this crazy concept go? And I definitely agree that Pixar and Disney are often not hitting that anymore. When you compare it to the elevator pitch of, say, Elio, which is a space fanatic with an active imagination goes on a cosmic adventure, it just doesn't have, like, a hook of any kind. When
Does
you're
he actually go to
introducing a new
space?
IP
Like,
with new characters, you have to have an idea that feels exciting and makes you curious about it. And I find it hard to believe that the creative at these studios just forgot how to do that.
I heard a
So
bunch of
what's
stuff
really
fall
going
over,
on?
and then Scalabee say Eleanor, so I guess Eleanor the cat's being a little
Disney
brat.
and Pixar have been making statements that imply that putting in too much messaging is why some recent movies aren't performing as well. For example, they seem to conclude that the reason Lightyear didn't do well was because of the small controversy that happened because there was a 1 millisecond gay kiss in it. But is that really why Lightyear didn't do well? Is there really no other possible reason that this bizarre Toy Story tie-in that's lit like an Xbox 360 game didn't delight the children of the world? Let's be serious, Lightyear was a really bizarre concept that didn't spark curiosity or fascination with kids or adults. And especially at the time, it just felt like another sort of cash-grabby way to invoke Pixar's first hit.
Yeah,
There are tons of totally beloved stories for kids that involve an LGBT character or relationship. Adventure Time, Steven Universe, Owl House, you name it. This stuff does not destroy interest in a story by itself. Disney seems to be using the culture war as an excuse when a movie flops, when often there is a much simpler answer. Some of these films are not very good. And what's interesting is, their wishy-washiness and meddling with the writer's original vision might actually be at the heart of why these films aren't hitting the same emotionally. And with that, we have to talk about what happened with Elio. So one of the reasons Elio probably felt off to a lot of people is because the writer, Adrian Molina, had to leave the project after many changes were made to his original story,
No.
a move that also caused problems with Pixar's Brave. We know now that originally, Elio was a boy who was reflecting Molina's childhood. Molina is openly gay, and Elio was originally going to be queer-coded, apparently. Queer or gay coding of characters is actually really common in Disney movies. They've been doing this forever.
Stab myself a little bit.
Though usually their queer-coded characters are villains.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite early scene, according to artists who saw the first version, was one of Elio putting together homemade outfits out of trash he collected when he was cleaning the beach, and
Aw.
having a little fashion show. His interest in the environment and making awkward homemade clothes are both things that do not make you cool or popular when you're 11. I can personally attest to that. The Hollister-wearing girlies were not impressed with my endangered species fundraising and the accessories I made with hot glue, Sharpies, and felt. I definitely would have resonated with this character originally. But after Molina left, Elio was apparently made more stereotypically masculine, and his interest in fashion and the environment were removed. According to artists who saw the first version, he went from being a specific character, someone with personal traits that the writer identified with, to a generic little boy. I also think it's really interesting that America Ferrera was announced originally as being cast as Elio's mother, but ended up leaving the project after Molina left, and when it was recast, Olga was turned from his mom to his aunt. It said this in The Hollywood Reporter. Some of Elio's changes were more noticeable than others. When the film was first announced at Disney's D23 fan event in
Seems like a
2022, America Ferrera took the stage to describe her role
patch.
as Olga, Elio's mom. At the following D23 in 2024, the Emmy winner was announced as having left the film amid scheduling conflicts, with Zoe Saldana joining the cast as Olga, now Elio's aunt. Sources tell THR that Ferrera had already recorded dialogue for the film, but that her decision to exit was attributed to Molina's departure, not to mention that frequently being called back to re-record lines due to script changes likely took its toll. Having watched Elio myself and piecing together the information we have from artists who were working at Pixar at the time, I think I know what happened. And I think that, if this is true, this also can explain why so many of their projects lately are feeling a little flat. So this is just my guess, but we know that Elio used to be characterized as a more gay-coded character, a boy who liked to throw fashion shows and make his own outfits. It was reportedly never going to be a full-on coming-out story, since Elio is only 11, but he clearly used to be characterized as someone whose personality wasn't traditionally masculine enough to be considered normal. That's probably why he felt like an outcast, especially considering that, if Olga was originally his mom, then he grew up on a military base, an even more macho and aggressive environment than most young boys face. Elio in the movie clearly feels like an outsider who has no place on Earth, which is why he's begging for aliens to come take him away. But in the movie that actually came out, where Elio is very much just a normal little boy who loves space, his primary characterization as someone who feels like such an outcast he doesn't belong on Earth stops making any sense. So they killed his parents.
Yeah.
That's why his mom turned into his aunt, so his sadness
Classic.
could come from somewhere. But the thing is, that doesn't map perfectly onto the original story. There's a scene midway through the movie where he's talking with his new friend, an alien child whose father
Being gay
is
is
ultra
bad.
macho leader.
What's
of a
better than being gay? Having
hyper-militarized
dead
alien
parents, of
race,
course.
and they're relating to each other. We've just heard the alien father say that his son is too soft, and he's plotting to enclose him in literally like a mech war suit to make him more like him, more aggressive, more dominant, more masculine. It's so obvious to me that in this parallel, it would have made more sense if Elio was also a boy who is seen as too soft, too silly on Earth
Yeah.
in this hyper-militarized
Straight boys can be like that
environment.
too. Like,
But instead they have kind of an
I think
awkward
boys should be
conversation where the
encouraged to
alien
be
boy is
interested in,
like,
like,
did your parents die? You're talking
non-masculine
about them in the
things.
past tense. And Elio's like, yeah. And then the alien boy says he knows it's not the same, but he feels like sometimes his dad doesn't even want him. To me, this conversation is a very obvious and kind of clumsy rewrite. It ends with Elio saying, "What if there's nothing about me to want? What if the problem isn't Earth? What if it's me?"
Oh.
If his problem is that he's grieving both of his parents, why is this the emotional crux of his character?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a grief story, because it wasn't one originally. It feels like an outsider story, and his outsider status doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, his
So
outsider
Elio ends up
status is his
helping the
parents
alien
are
kid
dead?
avoid being
What?
entombed in this military uniform weapon suit that would permanently equip him with violent weapons, but also noticeably is full of spikes that point inward, like an Iron Maiden.
Oh, Jesus.
It literally hurts the soft boy inside as it makes him violent and look uniform to all of his compatriots. I'm guessing that Elio, as he originally was, could relate to that experience of having to deform and harm his real self in order to literally fit a militarized, aggressive mold. But what Pixar reportedly did was actually change Elio the exact way that the story was originally speaking against. They bent to societal pressure that a more flamboyant personality or an interest in fashion is unacceptable for a boy, and so they changed him to be more normal and less of an outcast. In the movie, Elio is cloned, and they send back a clone so nobody notices that he's off in this alien world, and basically he tells the clone, just be normal. And he later sees that clone interacting with his aunt and basically being like the perfect little boy. I thought that this was interesting, but he's really not that different than the clone. The clone is just happier and less interested in space. This is just what I put together from seeing the movie and reading the reports about the changes, but I'm guessing that the clone in the movie was originally a more acceptable, more normal boy, and that his mother notices and misses her real son, even though he's different. She wants her real kid back. And that would have been a genuinely moving story beat.
Yeah.
But in the final version, she just notices it's really him because he's sad. It doesn't really say anything of substance. These changes also make Olga seem like
That's
a
fucked
total
up.
sociopath. When a clone comes back from camp instead of her nephew, she openly celebrates the fact that he no longer cares about space, the only thing that brought him joy
What?
before. And in the third act of the movie, she literally says to his face that she feels so alone, but that he wouldn't understand. To a boy who in this
Wow.
version had both of his parents die tragically and simultaneously, and who has been getting bruised and bloodied by bullies, like, that just happened, this is not believable unless he's an incredibly selfish
That's such
character.
garbage writing.
The ending of Elio involved the alien father tearing himself out of his carapace, I saw the TV Glow style, crawling out of it covered in wounds from the shell he had forced himself into, to hold his son. He
That's
says,
CD
"I
over
may
here.
not always understand you, but I love you." And that was the philosophical
Aw.
stakes of this movie originally. But they do not make sense with our main character anymore. That's
Yeah,
why
what the
Elio
hell?
as a movie feels so disjointed and empty. Elio did not
Whatever.
fail because people don't want original movies. It failed because somewhere up the chain, business people who don't care about animation were meddling in a personal story and making it generic. They damage the philosophical stakes so that many of the lines that are supposed to be impactful don't even make any sense. When an
Yeah.
alien says at the end that you are unique, Elio of Earth, unique can sometimes feel like alone, but you are not alone. What is that even supposed to mean to him?
Yeah, what the fuck
What
does that
is
even
it
mean?
about Elio that makes him unique? That he loves aliens and space? One of like the 3 interests little boys are expected to have? It's such a waste. It really feels like leadership at Pixar and or Disney looked at this story and basically said, "We love the message that it's okay to be different, but can you make the character not different? We don't like how different he is. He makes us uncomfortable." This also happened with
Yeah.
an already finished episode of Disney series Win or Lose,
That's
where
Eleanor.
Eleanor's entire storyline was revised so that
Pistachio.
despite having a transgender
You've been
actress
bullied again.
playing the role and all of the animation being completed for the episode, any reference to that character actually being transgender is gone. It seems like they're greenlighting these ideas, having people put tons of work, time, and money into them, and then chickening out at the last minute. Pete Docter said that Pixar
Well, you
needs
see,
to
if they
make
cancel a
the
bunch of
most
work, they can count that as
relatable
business write-off,
implying a
possibly.
shift
Like
away
a tax
from
write-off.
diverse storytelling, and Bob Iger said that infusing messaging in their shows and movies was not a #1 priority. At first, I really did think that this was just Disney and Pixar trying to stay politically neutral because some audiences were genuinely opposed to movies with quote-unquote messaging and that they were really losing money. I mean, that seems to be the building story and explanation as to some of their internal decisions, and these people aren't stupid, but I realized that that's not actually it. When you think about some of their recent successes, they all have strong quote-unquote woke messaging of some kind. Zootopia was enough of a hit that they made a sequel, and that movie is extremely obviously about bias and racism. Coco was a huge critical and financial success to the point that they've heavily involved it in their theme parks, and it's top to bottom about Mexican culture, something specific, something not the most relatable to everybody. People do seem to like stories that have philosophical stakes or a message. The story has to believe in something. It doesn't have to be a political thing, but it has to have something to say. Otherwise, you're just watching random events happen on screen. And to be clear, Pixar has always done this. They've always had philosophical stakes in their stories, and they've always had autobiographical stuff, emotional stuff in their stories. The difference is that they used to do mainly dad stories, I would say. Like, a lot of their original hits were about a guy of some
Lost World
kind,
Atlantis
whether it's
was like
a
really
toy
good
guy
and rated.
or an old man in a house, or a monster who's a guy learning to take care of a child. And fatherhood stories are not inherently more universal than any other kind of story, but I'm guessing for a lot of the writers at Pixar who are fathers, this was coming from a real emotional, autobiographical place, and that's why it feels true. The problem is now they're hiring writers and greenlighting stories where the writers are writing from a real, true, autobiographical place the same way that the original Pixar stories were, and then they're going in and taking pieces out. And that is why they're starting to feel so hollow. We saw it with Elio, and apparently it's with Hoppers as well. People are saying that movies are becoming about nothing because foundational pieces about what the movie believes and is about are being removed. And what I couldn't initially figure out is if this type of messaging
getting
isn't
recognition?
hurting them
Huh.
critically, and it's also not negatively
nice.
affecting them with audiences, like it's not hurting their pockets when it comes to tickets. Why are
Maybe
they
it was
doing
put on
this?
Netflix, so
And
everyone's
then
actually
I
seeing it.
figured it out.
We're supposed to help people.
We're supposed to help our people, starting with our stockholders, Bob. Who's helping them out, huh?
Reading this article on NBC News was really interesting
Maybe I'll
because
do
I don't
like
really
a-
get served animation news like this. This isn't your usual fluff piece about the creative process
Pop
behind
band or
Disney or
something.
Pixar's new projects, but I think this explains significantly more about the decision making that has been happening. This article is about a billionaire investor in Disney named Nelson Peltz, who is a activist
Eleanor, get out of
investor.
there.
What is an activist investor, you may ask? Well, basically, it's an ultra-wealthy guy who buys a ton of shares in something to try and exert power over that thing.
Yeah, that
by
makes
installing
sense.
members onto the board and forcing changes that they think will make even more money. This guy has failed so far to push out Bob Iger or install himself or his compatriots onto the board, but he has been on a tirade for years now against diverse
Eleanor.
movies and shows, saying such
Eleanor.
charming things as,
Okay,
why
well,
do I
she's
have
being
to have
good.
a Marvel that's all women,
From the
and
nice cat.
why do I need an all-black cast, referencing Black Panther. Elon Musk endorsed Peltz in the shareholder vote. Yeah, he's involved as well. But don't worry, guys, BlackRock came in and put in the vote for Bob Iger and saved the day. Everyone say thank you, BlackRock.
Public.
No, I think it's extremely
A
weird to
wizard
think
or
that there are
something.
board meetings and shareholder votes of billionaires deciding what animated kids movies get made. Like, I knew they were publicly traded companies, but I didn't realize that the shareholders were directly trying to influence the content of the movies. And I guess that's ultimately the obvious answer to what is going on. Disney and Pixar have become so huge and corporate that they are being subjugated a little bit by their shareholders, and
Yeah.
they're so fearful of the culture war that they're unable to put trust in their writers or directors anymore. They can't just let them make a character who reflects their own childhood or say any of their beliefs, because if your goal is to extract money out of as many people as possible, then taking any stance on anything could alienate a customer or two. They can't even say that it's okay to be a boy who likes fashion, because apparently that's too political. And obviously, that is not a good way to make sincere or meaningful art or stories. Well, to explain, let's look at who has been winning over Disney and Pixar these last 4 years. At the start of this cold streak for Disney, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio won, a
that was so good.
painstaking labor of love passion project made in gorgeous and unique stop-motion animation. The next year, it was Hayao
That's crazy.
Miyazaki's 2D hand-drawn animated film, The Boy and the Heron.
Just
After
a
that,
minute.
an
I'm assuming
underdog
that's like a
Latvian indie
clip to
studio
Atlantis
came
or
with
something.
Flow, even though it cost a fraction of what their competitors spent. And
I
this
have to
year,
save
it was
this
K-pop
over
Demon
here.
Hunters, defeating both Elio and Zootopia 2. What
Mm-hmm.
is bad news for Disney and Pixar is good news for literally everyone else, who were critically snubbed or ignored for decades in the overwhelming sweeps of these super powerful and well-connected studios. The movies that are winning are not, as Pete Docter has said, the most relatable movies. They are visually really unique. They don't feel nearly as safe or corporate.
Mm-hmm.
Is a group of girls who are all K-pop stars who also fight demons literally relatable for everyone? No.
Of course not.
Can everyone relate literally to the themes of Del Toro's Pinocchio? Well, no. Good storytelling is an empathy exercise. It can make you feel the feelings of people or inanimate objects or literally anything.
I can pick up this pencil, tell you its name is Steve.
Oh yeah,
like
Boy and the
this,
Heron was wild.
and part of you dies.
While it can feel good
Heron
to
was
have a
fucking
character
creepy.
who's really similar to you, it should never be a requirement for you to enjoy a story. Disney and Pixar are both still extremely wealthy and are at no risk of closing. An Oscar win for any of these other studios has way more impact than it would on the Disney Corporation. I also think that Disney has been behaving more and more blatantly like a money-grubbing corporation than a house of creativity and storytelling magic, to the point that I think a lot of people, especially younger people, might be surprised that they ever acted any other way. But let's remember, when Walt Disney was alive, his personal beliefs, such as his love for animals and nature, were clearly put into his movies. He did not worry about hunters feeling attacked after watching Bambi and affecting ticket sales. Now,
Yeah.
maybe not all of his beliefs should have gone into his animations, but let's stay on topic. Pixar used to be adamantly anti-sequel because it seemed uncreative and too money-hungry. Disney used to be pretty protective of their reputation as creative magic makers, being generous in their theme parks and fastidious in their movie making, quality and imagination being a cornerstone of their brand identity. But obviously things have shifted. They are being more and more transparent about being a corporation first and letting this wholesome creative facade kind of slip, and I think it is hurting them in the public eye. They're still an industry juggernaut and a borderline monopoly, so they're going to be just fine money-wise for a long
They're a
time,
monopoly.
but people don't like feeling manipulated or taken advantage of. Their reportedly wishy-washy behavior with creators wasting years of their work because of pressure from the idle rich is only going to ruin their reputation and burn bridges with talent. I think that Disney and Pixar's aversion to taking risks is becoming a big risk in and of itself. They cannot make meaningful stories if they're constantly worried about angering small groups of people who get outraged like it's their full-time job. They cannot keep trying to make the most relatable stories ever, because when you try to please everyone, you please no one. And I personally do think they should avoid replicating the same art style, not only because the way they used to tailor the medium to their story was so cool, but like I said, this style has now become so heavily cannibalized by AI that now people think their new movies look cheap and AI generated rather than the other way around. It
Right.
could also be that people are just already getting fatigued with the same old, same old. I mean, this is entertainment after all. People are loving the unique look that other studios are exploring, and it shows. I genuinely loved Pixar so much as a kid, and I really do hope they get out of this slump. But I do think it's good that it's
Making
catching up
some
with them the way that
tiny
they're
props
proving,
for this
and that all these
tiny
studios are getting a chance to show
haunted
off their art,
treehouse I'm
especially
working
small
on.
studios like
This
the one
opens
that
up
made
and there's
Flow.
stuff inside.
I think it's really
There's some
exciting to
ghosts.
think
I don't know
that
if you can see the
animations
ghosts.
could be made for a fraction of a Pixar
And
Disney
various
budget
things in
and
here.
beat them.
I'm
To me,
making
that
another
really
poster
speaks
to put on the
how
walls.
much, the actual
It is just
integrity of the writing
it's
and the style
very
really
small, and I don't
matters,
have a
and
good
that
way to show you what's
this
actually on the poster.
huge behemoth of a corporation cannot dominate
Okay,
this
good.
sphere just off of their name alone. But what do you guys think? Do you think my analysis is correct, or do you think there are other reasons these studios are struggling these last few years?
No,
Thank you
I
so
think
much
you're
for
pretty much
watching till the
right.
end of the video, and I'll see you
Disney's
in
too
the next
beholden
one.
to goddamn shareholders
Thank
and
you to my
corporate
wonderful
profits to
members and
care about
patrons,
making
including
actually good
Stefan,
quality
Stefan
things anymore.
Coleman, Roger Baker, Artist James, Esme and Riley, Mr. Bingley, Glubby Wubby,
The stock market was a
Arubi,
mistake.
Meow 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 Meow, Sea Nerd, Bowl of Soup, Lorena, Mimi Mamori, Frog Scourge, Zachary Smith.
Oh yeah, I already have my
Puffy,
tickets for Digital
Shannon,
Circus.
Celery Sticks, The Mousy Mouse, Zora Eyes, Burnt Toast with Bleach, Sopapia, Heichol, TTT Rex, Lonely Purple Zealot, Honey Kitten, Loro, Data, Gashes to Gashes, Skitten, Gold Pikachu, Donut Oat, John Steele, Names Are Gone, Crow Dotus, Sunday Good Enough, Ace Wander, Jordy Plays, Clown of Clubs, Sunshine, River to Goblin, Raz Tarosh, Casey, Graveyard Moss, Grexius, Kingdom Hearts Sucks, The Midwestern Menace, CB, Lucy Amajiki, Raven's Crow, Zocelot, Jabber Dabber Doo, Light Jewel, Kadaria, The Expressive Poker Face, Tsubaki, Cutie Pie, Ice Cream Pal, Cola, JJ Jade, and of course, blah 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 blah.
Poster I'm coloring in with tiny pencils is like a wizard on a cliff surrounded by fire, fighting like a flying dragon. Because I don't know, I didn't know what else to put on a poster, but I was like, you know what, if I had my own dream tree house when I was a little kid, that's the kind of stuff I would put on the wall. The sweetest wizard poster I could find at the frickin' like mall or whatever, at the goddamn Walmart, when that used to be not a disgusting place to be all the time. And they had the, you know, the big like the poster flippers that you could flip through. Oh, dang nice. We're gonna go see it on opening day, but like during the middle of the day, because it's gonna be a Thursday, so that'll be pretty good for I figured that would be pretty good for actually getting in there. And sure enough, all of the showtimes that are like after like work, like the 7 p.m. one that's out, that one is completely booked up. But the friends I'm going with just happen to have that time off, so nice. Yeah, middle of the day, you're probably going to be able to, actually get a spot, so that's good. The dark green. Sharpen these. Okay. And I think when I get this little poster done and put that in there, I'll almost be completely done. I was gonna find some tiny wire or something and try to cut out, or maybe I don't need to do that. Maybe I just need to, yeah. Okay, I needed to either stick or drill like tiny little holes in here so it looks like there's nails holding these in place. And then I need to put dust on everything that doesn't already have dust in it. I know it's been 2 hours, but I want to finish working on this, so I'm just gonna keep going for a little bit. Close that. Oh, dang it. God dang it, Bobby. Oh my god, in my mind, this is one of those Velvet posters. Anyone else remember Velvet posters? Do they still make those? Can you, find those places? It was these posters where there were coloring posters, and all of the what is wrong with this? And all of the line art was done with like black velvet, like they were flocked essentially. So it kind of made it easier to color in because, you know, you'd have like a little bumper on the coloring, and also it was like really dark because it was velvet. Unless it got dust on it, then, you know, it like really showed the dust, but it like looked really cool. I thought they looked cool anyway. Maybe. I mean, if you're in like a populous enough town, like it might, because considering how big it is. Yeah, if it went well the first time, the sing-along thing, then they'll probably do it again, I would expect, or hope for the fans. Seems like it's a fun time. I'll have to use an ice pack on my hand later. Like, it's doing better. I gave it some rest. My hand's still a bit out of it. Okay, do that red in a minute. Yeah, sure, I'll put on this. Can I copy link? Oh, that was fucking the video about the old game. Cause I like this kind of stuff. Might be, yeah. There are enough nerds here that we have like
Just walk around.
Anime conventions and stuff that are like specific to the town. They're not massive,
and that's it. I mean,
but they are anime conventions.
No 9-to-5s, no worries about the political climate or health insurance. If they start to go blind, they don't have to worry about hospital bills. They're just blind now. Sometimes I just wish I could take myself away from the life that I live for just a moment and live that life. A dog's life.
Well, they did it, folks. That's right. Dog's Life is a game released for the PlayStation 2 back in 2003 that's all about the struggles of the human experience and how you, as a citizen and as a part of society, can use your being to create a better world for those around. Nah, I'm fucking with you. You play as a dog and you piss all over everything. It's a great concept. Video games are often used to escape from reality, even if for just a moment. A successful video game can transport you into a different world and make your mind truly believe that the things that are happening within the game matter to you, replacing your real-life problems with the objectives of the game. Because yeah, which would you prefer? Living paycheck to paycheck, having overdue bills and rent, having a dog that no matter how much you potty train still seems to think that your pile of clothes is a perfectly respectable place to use the bathroom, or just the dog part. It's honestly baffling to me that it took until 2003 for someone to make this game into a reality at this scale. When so many people use video games as an escape from their human problems, a video game as a dog is...
Why you gotta roast this random YouTuber?
Tell me one dog that you know of that is suffering from an opioid addiction. You can't do it. It's because it hasn't happened. It's uniquely a human problem. However, in 2003, video games were still constantly evolving and finding their footing. Figuring out what works.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that, sorry.
Consistent atmosphere and how to hone in on a target audience properly. Dog's Life, with no doubt, seems like a game directed towards kids. At least at first glance. That's right. What if I told you that this game is kinda unintentionally terrifying? But you wouldn't really reach any of this unsettling content until you've already sunk in countless hours into this game. And I'm serious when I say, think Doki Doki Literature Club or Shipwreck 64. You're no doubt in it for the long haul when you realize the legitimately unnerving horrors that this game has to offer. Don't believe me? That's okay. I can tell I felt you pull back. But take a listen to this piece of the game's soundtrack.
What the hell?
This game is rated for ages 3 and up. Not 30 and mentally stable, mind you. 3 years of age. This is only the rating for the UK, though. For once, the USA actually seems to have gotten something right. As the
Oh yeah, I gotta go back to drawing character. I haven't drawn in a little
That
bit.
would explain why
You'll
they
do
didn't
fine.
turn out the way they
Chocolate is
do.
pretty simple,
Because they
right?
were raised on this. That's right. Get fucked again, Brits. 1,000,001 for the USA and 0 for Britain. Go cry to your queen about it, why don't you? Oh wait, you can't because she's dead. It goes a lot deeper than just a mismatched soundtrack, however. To get to that, though, we have to get through the rest of this game first. Hold on to your bones, because there's a dog on the loose, and he really likes bones. Ladies and gentlemen, a dog's life. We open on an establishing shot of a countryside home. Everything in this opening cutscene is so saturated in this orange hue, you'd think they were using Donald Trump as a light reflector. And here he is, our four-legged furry hero, Jake the dog. No, not that one. Besides that, Jake the dog only has 2 legs. Or at least I think those are arms. Please, God, let those be arms. This Jake the dog, but not that Jake the dog, is a dog whose life consists of farting and shitting. So is he really any different than most of us?
No school, no chores, no clothes.
So you're a Redditor.
How cool is that?
You know what? That does sound pretty cool. Let me give it a try. Okay, so it's cool when the dog does it, but not when I do it. When the dog does it, he gets a video game. When I do it, all I get is this measly restraining order. Look, all I'm saying is that one looks significantly better on a resume than the other. And good thing you mentioned the whole no school thing, too, because I'm not allowed any closer than 5 miles to one after this. You know, it's always bothered me when people gave dogs human names, like Jake. And this is deep-seated for me, because I have a dog named Jim, and I did not name him that, because why would I do that? And every time I meet a human person with that name, I just associate them with a dog. It's just my human nature. I also have a dog named Annabelle, which I also did not name. And every time I meet a human person with that name, I know that their parents shouldn't have had children. What? Okay, everybody, pay very close attention. Because what's about to happen is very important and will come back later.
Yeah, get that defining feature out. I hate that.
No, not serious. This is a key plot point. That dog just killed a butterfly with a fart. That is important. And the fucked up part is that he thinks this is funny. Let me get this straight. You think that killing that butterfly with a fart was funny?
That's Daisy. Lately, she's been ignoring you. Well, we'll see about that. Oh, yes.
Ew.
She will be mine.
Yeah, right, sure, you freak. I feel as though this is the only appropriate reaction to what the fuck just happened here today.
Daisy?
Wow, this is surprisingly sad. I mean, we just started, and that poor dog's head is almost definitely clipping through that cage. Sadder is the denial that these two men are most definitely going through regarding their sexuality.
It smells nice out here in the country, don't it, Wade?
You cannot be serious.
As
The country's full of
the smug look on the dog's face after it farted the butterfly to death, I was like,
I'm telling you, give them
that ruined it for me.
bodies. Like, he's Christopher Columbus, and he's an unexplored chunk of land. And by
I mean, like, yeah, as a dog, it'd probably be pretty proud of itself if it could do that.
By the natives. Not that that stopped anyone before.
But I like doggies, Wade.
I told you no.
God, they're so good for
Some neck
Wayne and
stretches.
Dwayne begin to drive away in their dog napping mobile, while unbeknownst to them, Dwayne left one of the doors open, allowing for Jake's
Posture and stretch check, everyone.
Ow.
Fair reaction.
Oh, my head. What the?
Also fair.
No. Daisy.
Jesus fuck! You looking at me? Why would you do that? I hate you.
Hey, Jake, how's it hanging? Come on, I'll race you to the top of the hill.
Oh, brother. People are so insensitive.
Damn right they are. Hey, why don't you run for president? You got the right skin color for it, apparently.
But I need to get back in shape if I'm going to look for Daisy. Hold on to your pants. Here I come.
Oh, I'm gonna hold on to my pants. Here I come.
Okay, finally we get control over Jake here, and we're sent into this first-person perspective that I was not expecting. You can chase these clouds of colored smoke and sniff them up, which are really just what I assume to be places other dogs have shit and pissed. We finally meet up with this little boy at the top of the hill, and damn, looks like I was too busy sniffing piles of shit to actually beat him.
So, you want to play another game?
Are you kidding?
Yeah, buddy, I'm sorry. There's a very serious situation I've got to attend to. No time for games.
Does a dog poo in the woods?
First of all, yes. Yes, it does. But from personal experience, a dog also poos all over your kitchen floors and furniture. And secondly, wow, this game is accurate to a dog's life, as this dog doesn't seem to have a memory span of more than 2 minutes. Jake! You gotta be kidding me, man! Does your one-way relationship with Daisy mean nothing to you?
Hey, Jake, what's up with you? You okay? You look a little funny.
You know what, kid? I was thinking the same thing.
I've gotta go see Gramps. Mom says he's as crazy as a nudist at the South Pole, but I think he's cool.
The fuck? Your mom told you that? Why would she say that to you? You're like 4 years old. That's entirely inappropriate and also hopefully untrue. Although if he was nude at the South Pole, he probably would be pretty cool. Chill.
Why don't you run down to the farmhouse and play with Lopez, the Chihuahua?
Lopez?
Lopez the Chihuahua.
Really?
Of course.
Practice your racing technique with her.
Race? Onto the actual gameplay now. We're dropped into a surprisingly open world game here. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is like if Grand Theft Auto had a piss button, as well as combos for pooping and farting. Oh my god! He's holding the poop! Oh my god, I can throw shit! I can throw shit! It's the best game that's ever been made. This is surprisingly fun to control, actually.
They definitely do sometimes.
Mode, as this is the only way to collect these
Heard some horror stories from Skeleby's work.
Of a certain color in an area unlocks something exciting for you. Sometimes a bone, which you can think of as your Mario 64 superstars, or a minigame giving you the opportunity to get a bone. Alright, just one more yellow cent to collect until I've got them all. I wonder what will happen.
At last, a peeing game.
Okay.
Yeah, at last. Sure, it's a free country.
The thing we've all been waiting for. The peeing game.
Go.
That is not the music I was expecting. Not that it's unwelcome. I mean, I might have to start playing this music whenever I have to pee as well. I didn't open the lid. I always forget to open the lid! I was just scrolling through comments of the peeing challenge soundtrack on YouTube, and Sean Manning said, "Next time I need to pee, I'm just gonna blare this and see if any of my sisters remember this." Did they? Dr. Dunsparce, it has been 8 years, man. I don't think you're getting a response. Can somebody please find out if any of Sean Manning's many sisters remembered the Peeing Challenge soundtrack from Dog's Life? I need to know. I can't go on. Anywho, I've absolutely humiliated the local dog by pissing everywhere, and now I can
Like a
continue to
style of
humiliate
humor.
him by stealing all of his food. Another minigame in
Random
many of the
Stuff
areas is
Gaming.
Food Race, in which you
That
race
is the name
local
of this
dog
guy's
in a
channel.
specific path, picking up as many packs of food as you can along the way, sufficiently famishing your opponent. Now that both of us are members of ED Twitter, just on opposite sides of the spectrum, I have gained mind-controlling powers. Naturally. It's actually a pretty neat concept, but confusing at that. Each dog has the ability to do something that Jake can't, like jump higher, or run faster, or pull heavier objects, but it's not always obvious what it is. This one is obvious. Lopez the Chihuahua, I will never get over that name, is much smaller than Jake and can fit into this doggy door and grab this bone for me. Don't you find all this a bit messed up, Jake? I mean, you starve this dog of any of its rations for the day, and then you force it to do your dirty work? Mind you, this has absolutely nothing to do with saving Daisy. You just find this entertaining, don't you? You sicken. The amount of disgust that I feel for you it's thick, it's potent. Oh, this is highly unethical. You will rue this day. Okay, sick. I got all the collectibles in this area. Now I can move on to greater things.
It's coming along well, this poster that no one can actually see. But I think it's going pretty good. This blurry shape is a wizard, and this blurry shape over here is a dragon. Trust me.
Well, that was extremely jarring. This loading screen is kind of creepy with just the visuals alone, with the swinging overhead light being the only light source and the spread of crime scene evidence as well. But the lack of audio as well as the sudden stop the game does when you enter a loading zone are the things that shake me the most. A simple fade to black would have done. I mean, that's what you gotta come to expect with these older games, I guess. Just like the objective where you scare chickens by barking at them, forcing them to squirt out an offspring, and then steal said offspring from your children, who will then take said offspring and throw it at this man's crotch. Classic PS2 era video games. It's a bit redundant, really. I mean, I didn't even need to mention it. I think now is a better time than any to mention the impressive lack of plot that this game holds. Your dog nappers are working for Miss Peaches, the head of some sort of cat food company. You don't find out until the very end why, but Miss Peaches is trying to snatch as many of these dogs off the streets as possible. But that's all told to you within 5 minutes altogether. They've made
Actually feeding the dogs to cats or something.
Lover to be from the evil conglomerate dog nappers.
So at this point, maybe she is.
Lady that looks like if Princess Daisy was curb stomped multiple times and kept going. And just got up and continued. And they've managed to take that plot and make it understated in the whole game. Really, it's more of a bookend than anything else. The story only takes front and center at the very beginning, as you saw, and at the very end, which you will soon see and never unsee. Instead, you're just wandering around town, helping the locals and collecting bones for no real reason. For example, this mailman is terrified of dogs, and this little shit won't leave him alone. So, it's our job to lure this little shit away from the mailbox so he can deliver the mail. This has nothing to do with Daisy.
Now, to deliver the mail. Oh, what's this? Win a free trip.
Dude, I didn't do it! I like how the camera cuts back to Jake whenever someone's talking to him. The developers gave him reaction shots, but he only has one emotion, and that is a lack of emotion. Sometimes he looks at the camera, too, as if I have any answers about anything. Jake, you gotta understand, this is a human being talking to a dog. You can't assume that they're exactly in sound mind. There's a lot of things around these areas for you to do that are just for fun, including, but not limited to, terrorizing local cats by picking them up and shaking them about until you rip off their actual entire coat of fur and diminish them all their worth. And then throw them away when you're done. Looks like this unattended little girl needs some of my help. Let's see what she can need. Besides her parents, probably. Where are your parents?
Hey there, doggy. Some mean boy stole my coat to dress their snowman. Can you find it for me?
Oh, you must be freezing out here. Don't worry, I'll get right on it to help you get cozied up quickly. And if not for that, then just to get something to cover up that pointless shirt you have on. I mean, what is that? You have an asterisk on your shirt and that's it? We gotta cover that up, or at least get you to an Old Navy. I hear they have a great sale this time of year. Well, I've looked everywhere in this area, and I can't seem to find it. Turns out, that's because her coat is actually in a different area, and you have to bring it all the way back to her. So far, every single objective has been completable in the zone in which you discover it, so this took me a bit off guard. On my way to find this girl's jacket, though, I found this other girl who needs my help building a snowman. What would anyone do without me? I mean, seriously, everything else has been a monotonous task that has been put upon me, but now you're just being lazy. Building a snowman is supposed to be fun. Why don't you just do it yourself, you freeloading piece of shit? Sorry. Maybe I got a bit carried away there. Maybe this girl just wants someone to build a snowman with, not someone to build it for her.
I realized I took pictures of the other posters after putting the yellowing and the dust on them, and then it's just, ah, well.
Take your time. I've not got anywhere to be. Oh wait, except I do, because Daisy is being held Anubis knows where and could be in some serious time-sensitive danger, but Jake doesn't seem to care about that anyway, so carry on.
No, how many times? No, and every time she's gonna do this stupid walk. Oh good, that's just a button.
Can you find some more
That's
coal,
just
please?
one button. Here's another piece of fucking coal. Oh my god! No, take your time! No! Not getting any fucking warmer!
Checking this cabin over here, I found a pile of coal. Perfect for the snowman's face, so let me bring them over to her. Oh. I can only pick up one at a time. Okay. No, that's fine. I'll just have to make this quick.
Can you find some more coal, please?
I think that's on focus.
I have to sit through that cutscene every time I give this little girl a piece of the snowman, and there are how many pieces of coal? That's not even to mention the arms and a hat and nose of the snowman that I've even yet to locate. Okay, now I am losing my patience, little girl. I was gonna let it slide initially, but I knew you were gonna piss me off the moment I saw you with that shirt that just said the word "hey" on it. You've somehow managed to one-up the asterisk girl in a lack of style. Just say hey to me right now. Don't make your shirt do it for you. I'm gonna shove it on the ground and throw it in your face. Anyway, snowman complete. I did it.
Hey, Johnny, check out Susie's snowman.
Susie's snowman?
Your snowman has a better hat than ours, Susie. I guess you win the contest.
First, you make me get every single piece of the snowman for you. Then you take all of the credit for building said snowman.
Wow.
And to rub it all in, what in the fiery hell was that? You take me for a fool, don't you? Well, joke's on you, because I'm actually an American foxhound, thank you very much. Don't fuck with me, Susie.
Crystal meth would be a better use of my time right now.
I bet you can't hit me with like 3 snowballs.
Bet I can hit you with 3 bullets from a gun. Kid. Moving on before I lose it, I found this girl's coat and I brought it back to her.
Okay.
Yay.
Could you turn around while I put it on? Mom taught me never to get dressed in front of strangers.
Nice kid. Too bad she's 2 sandwiches short of a picnic.
The fuck does that mean, Jake?
Oh, I think I forgot to
what did you just
take
say?
a picture of the plain CD.
Oh, you
Well.
just called the little girl stupid. I mean, fair enough. She is wearing that, after all. Just kind of unfortunate timing to call her stupid after she told you to not look at her changing.
Hey, my brand new electronic helicopter landed on top of that building. I think it's broken.
That is a grown woman.
Oh, hello, dog.
Take the mask off. I know it's you, Cher.
These pesky pigeons are pestering my customers. Could you chase them away?
Well, I would, but they keep landing on this frozen-over lake, and I can't seem to catch them before they fly right back to the cafe. It's too slippery. Well, that reminds me. There was this weird item I got in the neighboring area that attracted the pigeons right to me. Well, if I had to bring a coat,
I'll just leave this one for now. I gotta go get some
why should I be led to believe that this
water for my brushes. Hold on.
They don't give a shit about my bird feeder. Actually, what you're meant to do is beat the local dog in this area by digging more holes than him, obviously, to then take over his physical form, naturally, to then chase the pigeons away, as expected, and succeed in doing so because this dog has anti-slip paws that Jake doesn't have, unsurprisingly. Not lure them away with the bird feeder, you silly boy. You absolute goof. You fucking idiot. Okay, let's see what this guy's got to talk to us about. He's got a swag bag. He seems pretty cool.
Where is that stupid partner of mine?
Now, throughout the game, Jake is making his way through the cities of Clarksville, Lake Minnewawa, and Boom City to get to the dog pound where Daisy is being brought to. And somehow, no matter how long you take, the dog nappers will only get to the dog pound the moment that you do.
Freaking giant net.
I have a very bad feeling about this.
Yeah, you said it, buddy. Okay, well, here we are. In the dog pound. Jake walks in and sees that a few of the local dogs have been caught and locked up in these cages, and the keys to these cages are scattered around this wasteland. While you're running around for these keys, the dog napper's dog is constantly after you, and the dog napper, for once, is actually on his feet trying to catch you himself as well. The entire time that you are doing this, you are faced with this blood-red sky as a backdrop, and nothing but this bone-chilling soundtrack to listen to.
What the hell?
This is the type of stuff that is so unintentionally scary that it is a new level of terrifying.
Yellow the
because
posters a
this
little
is
bit.
so out of left field. How could anyone prepare
Oh.
for this?
I forgot to also.
Tension is getting me.
At
Garbage.
least in like Silent Hill, you aren't expecting
A little bit of Mod Podge in there.
around the corner like, hey, how's it going, guys? Can you find my missing sword? I need it for not killing people. No, you know what you're getting into with that, and you raise your guard in anticipation for the worst. You don't get that chance here. 1 second you're farting and shitting and pissing and doing backflips for some reason, and then the next, your psyche is permanently shattered, and you get the feeling that you should maybe look behind you.
Peggy 3.
This is on the same level of scary as when you were a kid watching cartoons and a tornado warning would come on your TV. It's so unexpected and unbelievably scary, and it leaves you paranoid, even if for no good reason. I hate that I'm saying this, but this is on par with the state of indie horror games today. I don't know if it's a bad thing, but this section feels like that mobile horror game Granny. I should repent for even saying that in the first place. Okay, I got all of the keys. I freed all of the dogs. I pissed my
Let's
pants.
meet on the edges
Please
too. I
just
didn't do
let
that
me out
before.
of here. I'm getting tired of looking over my shoulder every 5 seconds.
Killer, you guard the entrance to Miss Peach's place.
You know, I'm not convinced that that wasn't just him talking to himself right there.
You guard the entrance to Miss Peach's place.
Alright, well,
That's
I've got
fucking
more
noise.
bones than the guard dog once again. Way to assert dominance, Jake. Now get me out of here, I'm scared.
Oh, sorry, Miss Peaches.
Ew.
You disgust me, you filthy little man.
Yes, Miss Peaches.
Really,
What the
Wayne?
hell was
You're
that
gonna take
voice?
that from her?
You
Someone please let
disgust
this
me, you
woman on the
filthy
board
little man.
digging pipeline. Please, before it's too late.
One of those Clarksville dogs is perfect for my purposes. Nice and clean, lean yet tender.
Oh my god, she is feeding the dogs to the cats.
Now are ya?
Good. Bah, oh no. Too much in that corner. Okay then.
Listen, that was great, but can we just get another take, except about 10 more feet away from the microphone this time?
What is that? My gosh. Daisy! Daisy! She can't hear me. Daisy! I've got to turn off the big machine. But how? Daisy? Oh no, I can't look.
What's going on? No, I'm serious. Like, what's going on? No, like, very genuinely, what is going on? I need to know that somebody knows what's happening in this moment. What is happening here today? I need to know that somebody has an idea of what's going on. So quick. I barely had time to react. This is going to be something I'm discussing with my therapist as soon as possible, because if I were a child and I saw that, this would be the beginning of my attachment issues. Forget the jarring loading screens, the mismatched soundtrack, and the gun violence.
Kind of like that a little bit.
This
I felt that on.
is
Yeah.
traumatizing, just like that. 7 hours of gameplay leading up to this, and Daisy just gets barbecue and canned like she's Aunt Mary's 4th of July cookout leftovers. If in this moment in time you're not paralyzed
They
from
actually
shock,
fucking
your goal is to as quickly
cook
as
the
possible
love interest
turn off
dog?
all the different components of the machine before Daisy reaches them, including the blood-covered saws and spikes in this game rated for kids 3 and up. This is made
3
all
and
the
up.
more unnerving due to the lack of soundtrack during this part. Yeah, there's nothing to take you out of this experience. This is really real. You're just sitting with your own anxieties. This to me is reminiscent of, and I'm not sure if this is too niche of a reference, but Can Your Pet. You know, right? That one old Flash game where you raised and trained your own pet chicken by playing games and feeding it.
What? That's
showering it just
awesome.
like a Tamagotchi. And then, at the end, all of a sudden, the chick is sent through some harsh saws and meat grinders and turned
What the
into
fuck?
canned food, except that game was meant to be traumatizing. Dog's Life
Yeah.
achieves the exact same thing. just by accident and on a much greater scale. You rush your way from button to lever and from switch to crank until you've successfully turned off every part of this horrid machine, leaving just one thing. Throw a wrench in the whole works of it all. And once you do that, Daisy is free to leap out of the conveyor belt, which somehow she wasn't able to do before. And she finally reunites with Jake. As some poorly produced heart PNGs fade in above the two of them, they look into each other's eyes longingly, knowing that everything will be just fine.
Okay.
Get out with Miss Peaches.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Shotgun this whole time?
Your doggy asses into the big machine.
And she's swearing?
I had
Oh my
beans
God.
and cabbages for supper.
Jake, what the hell does that have to do with anything?
What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
lady.
Shut up. Is she gonna fall into the meat grinder? Oh my God. Okay. Yep. Oh, you're good. Are you gonna turn her into cat food?
You know. Talks like.
Wow.
And just like that, Miss Peaches is dealt with. I'm sure this will be quite the embarrassing triumph for her.
I'll get you for this, you horrible hounds. I'll track you down.
Oh my God.
If it's the last thing you see me.
Slicing, dicing, mashing.
Okay
Miss
then.
Peaches is cat food.
They really had to spell it out for you, huh?
Well, that's it, I guess.
Okay, when I was a kid, I would have been horrified by that because I would have been like,
wouldn't be able to be so nonchalant about it if I went through all that.
I know not everyone probably does it, but if someone like has a horrific fate like that, I have tried to imagine what it would be like. I don't even necessarily try. My brain will just start doing it. I would not be able to stop thinking of being physically crushed and chopped into cat food.
Oh, that's not really what I had in mind.
I mean, technically, yeah, but also, what the fuck is that story?
Okay, well, that's not.
Well, that's it, I guess.
Excellent video, thank you. Damn it. Just like, I know that the back of this paper is like kind of, there's like a coating on it. I don't know why I chose this paper. I think maybe I was thinking of trying to draw the posters on the shiny side, and then I was like, nah, I won't be able to use the pencils on that. And yeah, I just want it to have like a little bit of the yellow on the side that's folding over, because paper doesn't just yellow on one side of the paper. Oh, maybe if it has a coating it doesn't yellow as much, I don't know. But it's kind of an obvious just little triangle. Okay, good, I was able to layer enough on that it's quite yellow now, right? Sure, those got a lot of dust on them. Dust and maybe a little bit of rain from the moisture being blown through the windows and whatnot. Everything's just so dusty because it's old. Oh, I didn't really put enough dust, at least, on the cover of the Ghost Stories book. I should put some more on there. Because I yellowed up the pages, but I didn't actually, like, dust it. Okay. By dust, of course, I mean putting on, like, a thin wash of tan paint to simulate it being dusty. Okay, that's good. Kind of dusty, kind of splotchy. Get a little bit more on the carpet, just to use up the rest of the color. Yay! Okay. Right, hold on. I had the Vinny video, like, you're gonna have to send me the link again. Either that or I'm gonna have to scroll back up and find the video, find the link again. Because I forgot about it, and I copy-pasted over where the link was being held, so I just do not have it. If you really, really, really want me to play it, then you have to send the link again. Was Vinny the demolitions expert, like the explosions guy? Is that him? Ow, ow, ow. Oh. Okay. I'll probably just like step off of this and make sure it all looks good, and then decide if I want to do anything with it later, but I'm pretty sure this is mostly done. The only thing I can like think of doing is maybe like putting some stickers or something on the door. But I don't know how I would do those yet, because I would have to make them pretty small. The inside of the house, and the outside of the house, and the tree, and the rope ladder. Gotta like take a bunch of glamour shots of that later. Pistachio, I know I streamed too long, baby. Hold on. My cat's gently headbutting my knee because she's starving to death miserably. I know, baby. I'm sorry. You'll get your mush soon, okay? Okay. Oh, god damn it. Okay, yeah, I opened too many videos on FreeTube, so now I have to use, like, actual YouTube. Which means I have to resize the window. I mean, I don't necessarily have to, but, like, make it easier to see. And I have to change the thing.
Hey, Junior, if you're looking for the pony rides, they're back there.
Excuse me.
It's not gonna let me resize it properly.
When else have you got in there?
And of course it's not loading properly. Whatever.
Notepads, fuses, wicks, glue, and paper clips, big ones. You know, just the office supplies. You didn't just drink that, did you? That's not good. That's nitroglycerin. Don't move, don't breathe, don't do anything except pray, man.
It's gotta be half a mile high at least. It must have taken hundreds, thousands of years to carve this thing.
Hey, look, I made a bridge. It only took me like, what, 10 seconds?
Looks like we have a little roadblock. Denny, what do you think?
I could unroadblock that if I had about 200 of these. Problem is, I only got about 10, plus, 5 of my own, and a couple of cherry bombs, road flare. Hey,
road flare.
Maybe some nitroglycerin, hey Milo? Well, as far as me goes, I just like to blow things up. Come on, Benny. Tell the kid the truth. My family owned a flower shop. We would sell roses, carnations, baby's breath, you name it. One day, I'm making about 3,000 corsages for this prom. You know, the one
this a prom.
And everybody, they come. Where is it? When is it? Does it match my dress? It's a nightmare. Anyway, I guess there was this leak next door of a gas or what. Boom! No more Chinese laundry. Blew me right through the window. It was like a sign from a god. I found myself that boom.
Hold on. Back up. Are you saying this whole volcano can blow at any time?
No. That would take an explosive force of great magnitude.
Maybe I should do this later, huh? We've done a lot of things we're not proud of. Robbing graves, plundering tombs, double parking. But nobody got hurt. Well, maybe somebody got hurt, but nobody we knew. Wait a second.
Okay, there's all some glue in them. Let's get some glue. Alright.
Okay, now you can go.
Use the...
Hey Milo, you got something sporty? You know, like a tuna?
The volcano! She awakes!
Hey, I had nothing to do with it.
This here be a good place not to be.
Will honor your names forever. I only wish there was more we could do for
I
you.
like the old cook.
You know, thanks
I
anyway.
think his name was Cookie.
I think we're good.
They'll take you as far as the surface.
We're really gonna miss you, Milo.
You know, I'm gonna reopen the flower shop, and I'm gonna think of you guys every single day. Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Saturday till 2. Sunday, I'm gonna take Sunday off probably, and I'll go in for a couple hours, you know. But August, I'm gonna take August.
You didn't find it?
Nope, just a lot of rocks, and fish, little fish.
Yeah, that guy was great. The characters in that were really good. Okay, I'm using either ink or paint. Maybe a paint wash that would sink in good. I'll be able to make these little holes stand out so it's like look like they're properly nailed in and not just propped up against it. It's a bit too far down or whatever. Good night, man. Another one over here. Fuck! God damn it. Didn't think I was pressing too hard. Well, let's put that detail in down here and then reglue it. Oh yeah, this is the side I did both sides with wood glue instead of one side with Uhu and one side with wood glue. Better if I use a slightly stronger glue then. Still use the wood glue on the other side. Son of a bitch. Shit. Okay. Oops. Oh god damn it, I knocked that side off too. Man. Should have been more careful. have water, I can use a paintbrush for this. Mm. Mm. Oh, extra glue under there. Okay. Do realize I probably should have done these before, but just have to be very careful. I think I might have some matte Liquitex, which would be nice, because I should put something on the outside of this tree so the paint doesn't chip. There's been a couple of times when the paint chipped a little bit. I was like, whoops, gotta seal that. Ah, no. No, 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 no. No. Stay. Okay. This tiny paintbrush away. Mix up the teeniest little bit of black wash and try to make the nail holes stand out a bit more. Oops, to give the vague illusion of there being tiny little nails in there. Is this something anyone else might even notice? Probably not. But I don't know what's there. Where'd the... okay. That might be too much. Let's see. That should be fine. Okay. Good, that's soaking right in there. I'm like, I kind of want to add little nail marks in other places, like along the edges and stuff, but I don't want to do that tonight because I've already been on for like an extra hour and my shoulder hurts. And I don't want to overwork my hand and have it hurt again. So, and I call this like generally structurally finished. I've got all the stuff on the inside I want. I've got the main part of it finished. The only thing I might do is tiny little detail things like putting more tiny little holes to make it look like there's nails around the edges and stuff. Yeah, so I guess it would be like along here, along the bottoms. I don't know if I'll bother doing it on the top because I'd have to like get under the thing. Yeah, that's something I can just work on my off time. Otherwise, I think this is pretty much done. Oh, and sealing it. But yay! I just, okay. Gonna have to make sure this is a nice stable place so that the glue can dry here and I don't knock the supports off again. And then down there. Okay, I'm liking how that looks. I do gotta get the good sleep time. After I feed Pistachio, that is very important, so she does not wither away. Yeah, I see you, cat. She's been sitting here very patiently staring at that with her big shiny eyes. Okay, put a couple things away real quick. Ow, my back. Okay. Another reason why I should stop for tonight. Leave anything in here? No, okay. I got all the stuff in there I wanted to get, so that's good. And I managed to finish well before the deadline, so if I do want to do a bunch of tiny little nail hole details, I should be able to do that long before April 27th. That's good. Okay. Snakes and anyone else hanging out. Do all the usual stuff. Hydrations and postures and stretches and progress saves and pet your okay. Fail to pet your cat because she walks away the second you put your hand toward her. And just take your meds and pour out your paint water so the cat doesn't knock it over later. And get the good sleepy times. Good night.